to give you some updates. One of the biggest updates is I'm now on Central Time. So I know before I was on Eastern, but now with me moving to Houston and being here, I decided to switch the time zone to Central Time starting today, actually. So today forward, we're going to be doing Embrace Your Crown at 4 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Okay. So thank you all so much for being here. I know for many of you, we would have started on Eastern time, but today and going forward, we're going to be going Central. Okay, so welcome, welcome. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the live. Thank you so much for tapping in. It's going to be a great show as normal. So if you are new, welcome. I have a lot of good news to definitely go over for the month of February to kind of just continue this journey that we're all on to achieve and accomplish new things. So if you are on the path to launch a business, to write a book, to change how you live, change your lifestyle, your outlook on life, I want to encourage you that this is a safe space. It is a monthly meetup group ultimately that I host for free here online, that I stream live. So if you are enjoying the live, I want you to definitely go ahead and lift up the hearts. I want you to share this live as well as put your comments in the chat. Okay. So as I see your comments, I would do my best to acknowledge them, to engage your comments as long as there is time. Okay. I know for the sake of time, sometimes we can't do it all. But I am definitely going to give it my best to be able to do as much as I can. Okay, so I'm just going to take this off so that this is easier. And we don't have this up here. Let me just move this real quick. Where is this? Let's just turn this one on and turn it off. All right, there you go. A little bit bigger. So yeah, so this month, okay, real quick, the name of our theme this month is Progress, Not Yet, Don't Fret. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Progress, not yet, don't fret. Okay. And the reason why I named this show Progress is because we are 1 month into 2026. A lot happens, a lot is happening, and will continue to happen ultimately throughout this year, ideally, with many of us achieving things that we set out to do. One of the biggest things that I wanted to do this year that has already happened, I know it's only been a few weeks, and I did my wedding ceremony with my husband. I was able to relocate to Houston, Texas, from Indy, so that was exciting. I was also able to partially set up my office. I still have quite a bit to do. So yeah, y'all keep me in prayer. I definitely added resources to what I needed in order to be successful on platforms. I also had to do just a mental check on where I was and how I was feeling about what I've accomplished. And so, if these are some of the things you're thinking about considering, I want to ask you progress with that question mark, the juicy one. Okay. And then I want to tell you, if not yet, don't fret because we are just beginning. Right now, many of us are preparing for what we are wanting to experience throughout this year. So if that's where you are, that's where you're checking in today, I want to let you know you're in a safe place. Okay. So what I do normally is I have a presentation. I know the presentation is hard to see right now on TikTok, but starting tomorrow, hey there, hi Ryan, I will have my board in. I'm so excited to get the board because all of us will be on the same page. Starting on my live starting tomorrow. Okay, so you'll be able to see the presentation that way. Now, if you were like, man, this was so good, I wish I could hear it again or see it again, I want you definitely to put it to send me a DM and just say, hey, Krystal, can I rewatch this? Or how can I see it again or learn more, see more? And then I will share with you the details in order to get the whole episode, if you will, and to be able to replay it with the resources. Okay. The key is having the resources with the presentation. And so there is a way to have it that way. So if you're interested in that, send me a message and we'll get busy. Okay. Some other things that we are going to be changing going into this session and the sessions to come the rest of the year is I'm going to be doing 3 check-ins in our live conversation, but I have 6 that are a part of the whole check-in. Okay. So if you are curious about, man, what am I missing? Then I definitely want you to subscribe to Embrace Your Crown, which will allow you to get all of the replays, hear the entire presentation in full for the month, and get the engagement details that ultimately I will send to you, via text and via email, that just goes to support this coaching platform. Okay. So what you are going to get is the first 3 check-in points, and then the remaining 3, I will be sharing those in the full version, which will be accessible to those that choose to subscribe. Okay. And this is just my way of making this series a bit more effective, and also to make the monthly presentation a bit shorter, because it has been going long the last few months, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to definitely make some adjustments. And so that's what we're doing, and that is why I asked, are you progressing? Because when we don't look at what we're doing and how it's working, we can miss what's working and what may need to be improved. And sometimes doing less is best. How many of y'all know that? Sometimes we are doing the most, and this is why we're getting drained, or maybe wanting to quit something great and amazing that we started, because we're just simply over leveraged. Okay. And so if that's something you're experiencing right now in your life, I want to encourage you. This is definitely going to be a good conversation and a talk I would like for you to ask for more details about through direct messaging me. Okay. If you're on other platforms, you can put it in the comments. I will typically see them. Some of them I don't see the comments, which is why I would like for you to send me a message on the platform you're on, and that way I can respond back to you myself, just to give you answers to your questions and things like that. Okay. So if I see your comments during the live, I will comment. All right. All right. So with that being said, what are we going to be talking about today? Progress, not yet, don't fret is the title. Another thing that I would love for us to, let me go to the here. Yeah. So we're definitely going to do our check-in conversation. And let me go back because it's too far. Okay. So the table of contents, I want to go over what to expect in the agenda. Okay. I'm skipping back a little bit. So real quick, we're going to go over the history of Embrace Your Crown. So if you're new, I want you to know why I created this series and how this series was intended to bless you. Okay, real simple. I'll give you a brief introduction to who I am. I am author Kay Lee, also known as Dr. Krystal Lee. So if you want to learn more about me, feel free to ask your questions during the live, and I'll do my best to answer. This is for royals. These are people that I identify as kings and queens. And yes, it's an acronym. And for kings, it means you have a keen understanding, you operate with integrity, you are natural, meaning you are not trying to be something you're not, but you have embraced who you are. And G, I believe a good king is generous. So for those of you who don't mind sharing what you have with your family, your spouse, your co-workers, employees, and stuff like that, I want to celebrate you. All right. And then for queens, I put the Q in there for essentially, there's only one of you. So you're qualified. Okay. I know sometimes we may feel like I'm inadequate, or like I don't belong, or I don't fit in. I want to let you know you do. And you're already qualified to be yourself. Okay. You're unique. There's only one of you. There's not going to be another one. There's not another you with all the same bells and whistles. So just embrace who you are and let other people get to know you. Okay. E, you're ethical. Okay. You do things ethically. It may not always be popular. People may not always like it. But if you are true to who you are and called to be, people will grow to respect you, even if they may not like you. I know it might sound sucky sometimes, but trust me, when people realize, hey, look, don't mess with her because of this, then it creates a level of respect that honestly I think you deserve. So if you agree with that, wonderful. And then 2, the other E is for encouraging. I believe queens are people that encourage other people, encourage other women, encourage other men, encourage children, encourage people to find themselves. Okay. And then lastly, you're natural as well. Okay. So you're naturally who you are born to be. You embrace who you are. You, again, you're self-aware. Okay. You know your limits, and that's all right. And people that have something to give to you and to sow into you, you're not afraid to be yourself. Okay, so naturally you. So that's what a king and a queen is to me. Okay, and then as far as we're going to go into the conversation, I'm going to go through 3 check-in points. Okay, there are 6 of them, but I'm only going to go to 3 on the live. All right. And then ultimately after that, I'm going to thank you. And then I'm going to acknowledge 2 of our main sponsors, which are Way Process, which is Write Anything Easily. It ultimately is a book or a guide that you can grab. I will be pinning it for you in case you need help with writing and publishing your story. And then ultimately, the last one is if you want to launch your business, how to do it right. There is a guide also for that. Okay. And I will be pinning that throughout the live. Okay. There are 3 books that we talk about in the Embrace Your Crown series, and I float in between all 3 of them. Okay. So if you want to grab one or all 3 of the books, I will share with you the pin to be able to grab all of them at one time. Or if you want to get one and then build your way through the series, not a problem. Okay. So, hey, Yeshua is Lord. I see your name. I appreciate you for being on the live and welcome, welcome. Okay. Again, if you want to share the hearts as you hear the things you like, make sure you share the live if you can. And if you haven't followed me yet, feel free to do that as well. You'll get notified when I go live again. Okay. So, yeah, so that is ultimately that. And yeah, so these are the 3 books. And real quick, I'm going to pin the 3 books so you can see all 3 of them at one time, which I just find to be easier. When you click on the link, it'll allow you to go through the pictures and you can see all 3. I'm going to talk to you about all 3 of them during the live. So yeah, so that's just to kind of walk you through the first gate, to get to Embrace Your Crown. And I'm pinning it over here in one. There it is. Okay. So yeah, so I pinned it over here as well, just in case any of you may not be familiar with the books in the series. I'm going to talk more about all 3 of them independently shortly. Hey, Miss Chick, that's my sister. How you doing, honey? Summer Rain, thank you for looking at the offer. I appreciate you as well. Okay. So if you're wondering, well, how can I use this? If you've been in a phase where you're like, man, I really need a life coach or a mentor or someone to kind of walk me through some of the changes I want to do, this is the series I recommend that you get because it will ultimately help you to, understand all 3 books. Now, this is the first book in this series, which is number 6. But if you want to get all 3 of them collectively, I'm sorry, it's number 5 in the shop. So this is all 3 of the books in one order if you want to get all 3. You also save $10 when you buy them together. Okay. And thank you also for using the pin. I do see you. And ultimately, when you do check out, these books are signed by me. You will get shipping. I will be mailing them out to you tomorrow, which is good. And you'll get them in a few days. You'll have them before the end of the week. Okay. And I will help you to know how to use them for what I'm going to talk about on today and ideally throughout the month with you. Okay. For those that choose to get mentored by me. All right. So next thing I want to make sure a little bit about me. I'm Dr. Krystal Lee. I'm a business owner. I own multiple companies. I'm an author of over 57 books now. I'm getting close to 60. I help new authors tell their stories, launch their businesses, and live on purpose. Okay. So if this is something that you are in the process of doing or have questions about, you can definitely DM me or contact me on any of the platforms. I will be more than happy to step you through writing your story, publishing your book, or even launching your business right. Okay. So if you have questions, just send me a message and say, here, this is where I'm at. How can you help? And I'll definitely reply back to you and show you how I can do that. Okay. All right. Now, so royals, when I say welcome to the royal table, these are ultimately the 4 types of people that tend to come into the lives. Okay. So if you're wondering, where am I? Can you help me? Here's where I'm at. This is why I built this series. Okay. First, I built it for the kingdom builders. Kingdom builders are people who are leaders of organizations or companies, businesses, nonprofits. Okay. Royals are managers who cultivate and build other people. Okay. This is also people that work within their home and they are a leader for their family, their children, etc. Okay. Knights. These are people who develop others socially, spiritually, or function as an intercessor. Okay. So if you're the one that's kind of the pillar of your family, I want to let you know that this live is for you. Okay. And then lastly, there are specially invited guests. You know, you need something and you want to ultimately transform your life and just go beyond the changes you've been doing, but you may not always see how to do all of it. All right. So if that's where you're at, I want to let you know you're also in the right table. You're at the right table. Okay. And there was a comment, and Abdu says, "This is great." So thank you so much for commenting. I do see you and I appreciate you. All right. Next, this is ultimately the check-in. Again, I told you there are going to be 6 in the check-in, but for the sake of time, I'm only going to go through 3. Okay. If you want to get all 6, you can definitely DM me and I can send you the details ultimately for how you can explore more with the series. Okay. So this is the first check-in question I have for everybody. You can put it in the comments if there is something you want to share. I know I shared a little bit about what I'm doing early at the top of the live, but I want to help you to unpack the question. Okay. So here's the question. So did you write the vision? Okay. So if you was with me last month in January, then you likely heard me give you the suggestion of writing your vision and selecting what goals you want to work on for 2026. I know for a lot of us, kind of the top of the year is the best time to write and to plan. But for many of us, we make these plans, these resolutions, and they kind of resolve, or should I say dissolve. um, and they dissolve because something happens with our time, with our schedule. Maybe our focus is off. And in those types of situations, we find that we're missing the mark. Okay. So if today you're finding that you're missing the mark or you have not written your vision down yet, that's your first assignment for February the 1st. Okay. It's not too late. You're not out of the game. You're not out of it. But I want to let you know if you really, really, really want to start making moves with your life, you're going to have to start taking your goals, your word seriously. Okay. If you don't, no one else will. You might say, well, why are people not buying from me? Why are people not doing this? Why I'm trying to do something for other people, but they don't want it. Because if you don't value what you're saying, why would they value what you're saying to them? Okay. And people can sense your confidence. So if your confidence is lacking or it's just not there, it won't take long for people to say, I'll pass. Okay. And you don't want people to do that if you really are the solution to their problems. The things, the one they've really been praying for or seeking out or asking, for assistance or looking, to buy even. Okay. So if you are finding yourself missing your marks with your dreams or your goals, likely you have not written it down. Good day, Power Give. How you doing? Welcome to the live, love, and thank you so much for tapping in. Okay, so I definitely want to let you know, write your vision and make it plain, not just for you. The reason why we write our vision down and we make it plain is so that others who need to come in and help us can read our vision, see our vision, and be able to go with us in our direction. Or if they're not wanting to, they can make that decision early on and not waste your time. Okay. If you are looking for someone who's ready to have a serious relationship and that person is not, they can see it as soon as they see your vision. My vision is I'm anticipating the date with the anticipation of getting married. Well, I don't believe in marriage. Well, then there's no reason for us to go on date 2. Oh, but I really like you. It doesn't matter because your goals are not my goals. Okay. So you have to realize and be willing to let people go when you let them know. Okay. So when you let them know, hey, look, this is what I'm looking for, and they don't line up, the best thing you can do for them and yourself is to dismiss people that are not reaching what you're looking for. I know it might sound mean, it may sound hurtful, but trust me, in the long run, you are not doing anyone any favors by holding on to people or situations that are beneath your dreams or your goals or your aspirations. Why? Because that person could be moving on to find the person that thinks like they do. Maybe the one they're really looking for is right after you, but you're trying to hold on to them and they're trying to hold on to you. And ultimately, you both lose because you're both not in a position to move in the direction that you want to. Okay. How can two walk together unless they agree? Okay. So if you're finding that you are not having agreement in your relationships or within your staff, within your projects, then you probably have the wrong people on your team. And you want to definitely look into that and get that fixed. Okay. Now, the next thing that is part of that question, that's part one. And part two says, what are you working on? Okay. Sometimes we start working, we get distracted, we get unfocused, we start drifting. And as we get unfocused, start drifting, we start losing our momentum and even our power. Okay. When you get momentum, it's key to maintain it, right? And even to accelerate it or grow it. But it's hard to do that if you're not building as you're going. Okay. So you want to be working towards what you want, because although the progress may tarry, it's not over. Okay. And if it's not over, then why are you fretting? Why are you afraid? Okay. Don't be afraid. It's not over yet. Yes, sometimes you hit the first serve and it's a out. It goes into a file. People don't like it. People taste it and they say it's whatever they say. I was gonna say gross, but sometimes it's not even gross. It's just not their taste. Okay. And so some of us are out here wanting to change everything about ourselves, not realizing we are already the right temp for the right people, but we need to know who we need to adjust for. Lakasha, honey, how you doing? It's so good to see you on the live. I pray you're well. Do give my regards also to your husband. So yeah, so that is the first thing I wanted you to see is who is in your life that you want to stay connected to. Okay. And if they're not going in your direction, why are you adjusting for them? Why are you adjusting to people that won't be your client, even if you made the changes? Because the truth is, they don't really need or want what you're selling, but they're just giving you an excuse so that you have peace about them telling you no. Okay. But I want to let you know, find your real clients and adjust to them. Don't adjust to everybody that might be attracted to what you offer or who you are or what you look like, because those people may not always they may not always align with your future. Okay. So yeah, so that would be one of the things I would definitely share. So someone says, it's so true. I'm having humorous moments about what you're sharing because I'm in the gist of what you're saying. Okay. So if you guys, like I said, are in the throes of what I'm saying, that's how you know we're all going through a similar life experience. Okay. And the best part about that is you don't have to go through it alone, and you can change how things are going in your current state. So if you're not liking how things are going and stuff like that, they can change. Okay. That's the best part about life. It's not over yet. Okay. That's why I said, if it's not happening yet, don't fret. Okay. That just means you may have to do some adjusting. All right. So what's next on the check-in? So that's the first one. Here's the second one. Who needs to be on your team? Okay. Sometimes when we are fighting a losing or seemingly losing battle, the question is, do you need new players? Okay. If you watch football or any team, they understand what a strategy. Do you have one for your business? Do you have one for getting your book out, for accomplishing your goals, for losing weight, for getting married, for, you know what I'm saying? Growing spiritually. What's your strategy? Okay. And if your answer is, well, I don't really have one, then that's your first problem. You want to have a strategy. Okay. Now, let me tell you what a strategy will do and how it can help you. Okay. In case you may be unfamiliar, we don't know what we don't know. Right. I love it what it says, even in the action steps. It says, if you fail to plan, then you fail to succeed. Okay. And if you are not prepared for what you want to come your way, when it comes, you won't be ready. Okay. So this is one of the main things you want to make sure you're taking account of is who's in your life and who you need to add to your life. Okay. Because when you need people to be in your life, but you're not making room for them, maybe you are not sourcing people, maybe you don't want to invest in it, maybe you need a trainer. You need a trainer. Because if you go in that gym yourself, you're going to just walk the treadmill for 20 minutes and go home. But how many of y'all know that don't build muscle? Okay. And for most of us, we're not going to do the resistant training we need to do to build muscle unless someone encourages us on the way. Now, when you hire someone, it doesn't mean you hire them forever and you're like addicted. Like, some of us are like, oh, I don't want to pay nobody because I'm going to have to pay them the rest of my life. No, those are some crazy business strategies. And honestly, That's not the way you do good. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody is a lifer. Okay. Not everybody wants you to be on their stuff forever. Like, you want to fix my skin, but you want to put all this crap in it that makes it addictive to where I can't get off of it after it fixes something that was broken. So some people are in business to hide things and not solve them. You want to get rid of companies like that. Companies that are not about, what I'm saying, fixing your problems, but band-aiding them and making you look better in the product. That's not what you want. You didn't come there to band-aid a problem. You came there to come out whole or to come out fixed or whatever. And so that's one of the things I don't like about all these new business models, where it's just based on repeat customers, because your stuff only works so long and then it wears off. That's not a good product to me. Call me crazy. But I feel like if it works, then it should eliminate it. And then, yes, there are other things or other products you can offer for maintenance, but it shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? Your best product shouldn't be something that can't sustain, past a day or a couple of days, or gotta use it every day. Then what is it really doing? Okay. So I want to encourage you, when you're building out your products and stuff, consider the different ways, yes, to make money, because you can have stuff that solves problems, and then you can have stuff that maintenance stuff so it doesn't have a problem, which is preventative maintenance. Okay. So I want you to look into how you are structuring your business, your ideas, your concepts. Yes, your nutrition is part of preventative maintenance. Okay. If you start to eat better, then you will reduce the chances your organs will need, what I'm saying, surgery or stuff like that. If you work out to be more flexible, if you are to fall or to take a tumble or something, your body may not be so rigid to where your bones could crack. And, so all of these things are all, we might say preventative, but sometimes it's not, right? Sometimes you just need a intervention, okay? But you need to know, who do you need on your team in order for you to get to where you need to be. Okay. One of the things I love doing as a coach, as an author's coach, a publisher's coach, is that I help people where they're at so that they can solve the problem they have. Okay. Not everybody is going to want everything you have to offer. Okay. Some people are only going to come to you for one thing, get that thing, and then after that, they want to move on. And you got to be okay with your service being so good that anybody in that same position will reach out to you for the same reason. Okay. You don't have to hold somebody for their entire life so your company can thrive. That means you are banking on one person instead of banking on the quality of what you already have. Sometimes people are trying to do everything and they miss the mark on what they already do right. Okay. So one of the things I love that I've heard, between just conversations with my husband and, just looking at different business examples, is when you look at established companies, they best one product first, one service, one product. They do that first. After they nail that, when they nail their audience, when they nail their market, when they nail their offer, then they start expanding. A lot of us are expanding before we nail anything. And this is what makes our customers confused. And they don't know if you're selling coffee, if you're selling food, if you're selling this, that, and the other. But if you look at Starbucks, Dunkin', they started off with coffee and they mastered coffee. They got into stores. They, you know what I'm saying? They built a whole brand on better coffee. Okay. And then to make your experience better, they started adding these other things to better support their customers who like to drink coffee. But their initial point of view, their initial customer never changed. Coffee drinkers. Okay. So depending on what you are in business to do, you want to look at ultimately where you're at and what you're putting at the forefront, and then making sure that that's what you want everyone to know about you. Okay. So, in my world, no matter what industry or whatever the project is, I'm always going to be a manager, a person that manages resources, manages ideas, help people to get organized. All of those things are really under managing people, managing services, managing books, managing films. So no matter what it is or whatever the category is, it still falls in my same talent. Okay. Um, No matter what I'm writing, I'm still writing. Okay. And as far as teaching, I've taught college level courses. I've taught preschoolers before. I've taught adults how to use technology. I've taught in how to write and publish books. I teach how to launch businesses, but I'm still what? A teacher. Okay. So you find that whatever your gifts or your talents are, they are sufficient enough to make room for whatever you're called to do. Okay. So if you don't know yet how to leverage your gifts and talents, then you need to link up with people and add them to your team to show you how to do that. Okay. It's not about having a million and one things you can do. It's about having a few things you can do very, very well to the point that anyone can see it from afar and want to get close enough to you to then ask you what else you got. And then you can talk about those other things. But if you have not first captivated your audience with your main service, product, or idea, then you want to scale it back to get that understanding. Okay. Even with books, when people start writing their books and their stories, the first thing I ask them is, what do you want someone to walk away with? What do you want them to go away knowing? Okay. And then when you answer that question, it's going to be a lot easier for you to reset, right? And then to be able to deliver on that particular idea instead of trying to get everybody and anybody involved or understanding you or what you offer. Hey there, Tricky. Thank you so much and welcome to the live, hon. Okay. And then Louie, thank you so much. I also saw you as well in the comments. Thank you so much for reposting and sharing. I appreciate you too. Okay. So I'm going to encourage you definitely on that. Let's see. And then here is the third point that we're going to talk about during this live. Again, there are three more that you can unpack if you want to subscribe to the message in the first Sundays meetup group. If you want to do that, just send me a DM and I'll give you the instructions on how to do that. Okay. So here's the third question. What resources do you need? Okay. Resources, they're not representative particularly of people. Okay. Resources can be as simple as, do you need a subscription? Do you need to read more? Back in the day, we used to read newspapers and things like that, and you had to buy a subscription for that. Sometimes you may need to have a mentoring agreement or a service agreement. Okay. Maybe you need to be able to have a piece of technology. Okay. In my world, I have to buy cameras or I have to buy a better phone or a better this or a new computer because all of these things are part of my process. Okay. So you want to look at what is your process and what do you need in order to advance and what you're working on and wanting to do. What can make your life easier? Okay. The same way that whatever you're creating, whatever you're doing, whatever you're talking about in your book or with your company, you're trying to solve problems for your intended clients or customers, right? So that the same way that you're going to need things to reach your customer. Maybe you need, and some of these kind of goes into the team as well. But what does your team need to succeed? Some of you have employees. So what do they need to do better? Do they need a better chair? I mean, some things are really simple, and then some things are a bit more complex. Do they need more training? Do they need more understanding of whatever your goal is? Do you need to put it in writing so that they can read it? Because when you give them reprimands verbally, they're not catching on. Okay. So you want to make sure that you and your team are in lockstep. Because if you are a mess, how many of y'all know when your customers come, they can see it? I'm like, do the management talk to them at all? Because they're saying this, but their staff is saying that. No one's on the same page. And it's frustrating. Okay. And it does not encourage confidence in your brand and your product or your service. Okay. So if you're finding that you are trying to build a company, but people are missing the point, they're not catching on, they're not buying, and you know you are the solution to their problems, the question is, have you made it clear? Okay. Tio, how you doing, honey? Thank you so much for being on the live. I appreciate you. Okay. So Haley, hi honey, how you doing? Welcome to see you on Embrace Your Crown First Sunday. So good to have you back, love. Oh, thank you. Okay, so if these are some of the things you're struggling with, all right, I want to let you know, look at your resources, okay? Now, I know I've been talking heavily about books and about publishing, but what if you are looking to embrace your crown so that you can work on you? What do those resources look like? Sometimes the resources may look like having a Bible. I know it sounds crazy. Maybe you have to buy a book because the book is going to teach you how to do stuff that you know you're working on and you need to understand. Maybe you have the book and you're like, man, I really just need to talk to someone, or maybe I need to follow this or get more involved. That is still part of a resource. Okay. Princess and Ramon, thank you so much for following. I see you and I appreciate you. Princess, thanks for looking at the pinned option. This gives you all three books from this series, which is what I'm going to hop into next. Okay. Because I'm going to show you how these books will help you to feed your personal growth, spiritual growth, your company endeavors, your career endeavors, and even into if you want to launch your business or write and tell your story. Okay. All of these things, or all three books, were designed to do that. Haley, thank you so much, honey. I appreciate you for being in the live again. Like I was saying, it's so good to have you back. I would love to hear. I know we talked before about coaching and all those things. If you still have questions, I'll call you after live. Just let me know and we'll make sure that all that gets sorted today too. Okay. Um, but yes, okay. So those are the three check-in points that I'm going to be sharing on the live for the sake of time. I want to try to get the live under an hour. And I know when I give you all six of them, it goes beyond an hour. So if you want the other three, I want you definitely to join my mentorship group. To do that, send me a DM and just say, I want to join, and I'll give you the instructions on how to do that. Now, what you will need to join this group is you will have to have the books. I know Miss Haley has all three, but for any of you that want to get mentored by me and see how all this goes together, the first step I want you to do is to grab the books, okay? And then once you have the books, I'm going to show you how to use them in order to grow and advance the things that you want to accomplish, okay? So with that being said, the first book that I got to tell you about for sure is the purple one. This is the purple one. It's called Embrace Your Crown and Overcome Heartbreak. Now, the reason why I did this book is because I found that a lot of the reasons why I do the stuff I do in life was because something shaped my heart and had me feel like this was the best way to do it. Okay. So for some of us, we might have heard something when we were children and people said, oh, you can't, or you won't, or you will not, you don't have. And so when we hear these limiting words that tell us what we can't do, won't do, shouldn't do, then we start to go into either survival mode, where we find a way to get around it because we are mentally strong. But guess what? It might not have been the direct path that we could have taken all along. It might not have been as ideal of a way of getting to where you want to be, because you had to learn how to go around what someone else said, which was unfair. Okay. So if that's you today, if you had to go around the block because someone couldn't just give you a compliment and now you try to figure it out yourself, I want to encourage you. I know Power Gift says, awesome, Kaylee, with some claps. So I see you. I appreciate you. So I want to let you know that this is not about taking the long way around, but this is about taking the way around that will allow you to pick up on the things you do right, the things you could do better, and the things you learn to survive, to reverse it to be the things you do to thrive. Okay. So if you want to thrive in life and you don't want the hurts, the pains, the things that you don't even know is shaping you to shape you anymore, then I want you to start with this book. One of the things I want to point out real quick about this book is the subtitle. So if any of this is true for you, this is the book that I want you to start with. Okay. If getting all three is not something, you want to do right now, that's all right. But I want you to start with this one if this statement is true. Y'all ready? Stop begging to be acknowledged, appreciated, loved, or respected. Okay. So if you are begging people to love you, to appreciate you, to acknowledge what you're doing, or to respect who you are and what you've accomplished and things in that nature, you're begging people to do this. I want to encourage you on how to embrace your crown. And I want you to start with this book. Okay. Now, in this book, In this coaching that I essentially give with this book, this is what I'm going to be talking about. These are the 7 gates, because there are 7 gates we're going to open in this book to help you to break some of the patterns, okay? Some of the ideas, right? And some of the long ways around you have been taking in your life in order to get out of, right, some of the molds people have created for you. In the book, I share a lot of my personal journey, which is how I learned how to spot this. So this is from a learned experience. And when I write, I don't use AI. None of that's in here. This is just me talking to you heart to heart. And I tell you, it reads that way too. Okay. So what are the gates in this book and why do you need it? The first gate is time. For some of us, we realize time is not slowing down. If anything, our time has us scared. We are like, Lord, I don't have enough time. Some of us are rushing through life, picking people recklessly because we're like, oh, I don't have enough time to think. Or what if they leave me? Or what if I'm going to be alone? Or what if, what if, what if? And we're so afraid of what we don't know that we're making drastic mistakes. And I want to let you know that time don't slow down, but time is also not recreated. Okay. So it doesn't mean run in fear, but it means to respect time, right? And then to do all you can do with your time so you have very little regrets. We're all going to make mistakes, okay? So there's no such thing as necessarily having no mistakes and doing everything flawless. We're all fallible people. We all make mistakes. No one's perfect. And with that outlook, it gives us the freedom not to be so paranoid about making decisions, even if we make a wrong one. Okay. There is enough time for you to adjust. As long as you're breathing, there's a way to be able to overcome a mistake. Okay. Another thing that is shared in this book is your purpose. Okay. I want to let you know your purpose is not floating in the cosmos. It's not something outside of you, but it is something that was born in you, with you, and for you. Okay. So you were put on earth for a reason, for a person, for a purpose. Okay. And the only question is on purpose, by the way, it's are you going to live out your purpose? Because your purpose matters. I know sometimes people will say, oh, it doesn't matter. Do whatever you want to do. No one cares. That's a lie. It does matter because there are people that are looking for you just like you're looking for them. There are people, I mean, I can tell you, my husband, he would say he waited 46 years to marry me. But I say he waited to 13. He was single, last, but, we can have the semantics. But the whole point is there are people, and I agree with him too, though, because for us, there are people that wait their whole lives to meet someone or to find something or to feel connection. And if that's you and then you find it, it's like, man, I've been waiting my whole life for this. And so I can see the truth in his statement. And I want to encourage you, if you feel the same way, then this is a series I feel that will bless you. Okay. Another thing is patience. Some of us are too patient. I know my husband will say, Krystal, stop being so nice. But for some of us, we are so patient that we have zero boundaries. People are running all kinds of circles around us and making us feel guilty about stuff we shouldn't feel guilty about, because we are finally standing up for ourselves or just having a boundary. I want to let you know if people are not respecting your boundaries, that's not something you have to beg them to do. But it is something you need to look at yourself and say, why am I not valuing me as much as I value them? Okay. So this is part of embracing your crown. You got to embrace who you are because other people may have done it better than you. They've embraced what they want and what they want from you, but you're the one nervous about asking them for what you really want and what you need. I want you to consider, why do you do that? Okay. Because that's what this book will cause you and help you to do, is talk through the questions. Okay. The next one that we're going to ultimately talk about in this series real quick is going to be your patterns. Okay. Patterns are not just something that out of thin air. Patterns are created and learned conditions. Okay. So if that's you, something you're going through, I want to encourage you. Another thing is your wants and desires. You want these things to line up. Okay. The Bible says he'll give us the desires of our hearts. And some of us say one thing, but our desire is polar opposite. We say we want something great and good and we believe for it, but we're so used to the negative, to the toxic, that that's what we desire and because that's what we expect. Okay. You got to level up, raise your expectation if you want to see something new, something better, something greater in your life. Okay. The next thing I want you to look is your atmosphere. Who are you listening to? Who are you around? And then what kind of an influence have they had on your life? When you were a child, you didn't control that atmosphere. Okay. But you had to what? Survive it. So we get it. The Father gets it better than anyone. Okay. And so if you're in a place now where you're now an adult and you are witnessing and seeing your atmosphere and you're like, man, I don't really like being here. Why do you keep going? Why do you keep hanging out with them? Why? I know they're your family members, but you can have boundaries. You can say, you know what, I can only stay 30 minutes and stay 30 minutes and leave. And when they say, well, man, why don't you stay longer? But you don't like us no more, or you're better than us. Depending on how bold you are, you might answer that differently than others. But you can honestly say, this is my plan. I planned this, so this is what I'm going to go do. Oh, okay. So you see what I'm saying? So people will always have a rebuttal, but it's not your job to argue with people. If you're arguing with people, you're begging them. Okay. Arguments are for people who are begging someone else to see things their way. You don't have to do that. And when you realize you don't have to do that and you won't do that, that's when people will say, oh, just let her go. She gonna leave anyway. Good. That means that person knows they are respecting you, even if they don't like it. And that's what you got to be comfortable with. You got to be comfortable with some people not liking your decisions, but they're going to respect it. Okay. Kaylee, the message you have today is by far a blessing for those on the live. Oh, thank you so much for sharing your comment, Power Gift. Let me share that with y'all in case y'all want to read it. Okay. HM says exactly. Thank you so much, babe, for following. I appreciate you too. Okay. Another thing is lifestyle. Your lifestyle is your choice. I know when you're younger, your atmosphere, the way you were trained, when you were on the job, all these things will help you build a lifestyle. But your lifestyle can be changed. People will say, well, this is just who I am. No, this is just who you're choosing to be. Okay. If you don't like it no more, change it. Mark Wallace, thanks for looking at the book, honey. I see you. Okay. So if you don't like it no more, change it. Be bold enough. Be conscious of who you are and who you want to be, and stop making excuses for people that don't care about them anyway. The Bible says what? As you love yourself, okay, that other people will learn to love you too. But the problem is a lot of us don't love who we are. A lot of us don't love what we're creating in us. A lot of us find so much fault in us that we touch and agree with people that are quick to judge us and even be hypercritical of us because we're already hypercritical of ourselves. You have to be a safe space for you, because if you're not, where do you go? Who do you run to? Okay, especially if your atmosphere is toxic, no wonder why your lifestyle is also crazy, right? Some people will try to carve out the person they want you to be, and they don't see the person you are or you're striving to be. Okay. And so if your lifestyle is working to catch up with who you're becoming, be patient with you. Like I say, if it hasn't happened yet, don't fret. Some of us are getting paranoid because we haven't arrived yet. It's all right. It's all right. We are all a work in progress. And if you feel like we've all gotten it together because we now look like we put it together, I want to encourage you. It's only the way it looks. It's not the way that it is. Because any given day, any of us can go down. Okay. We can lose jobs that make us look financially unstable. We can lose friends that make us look lonely. We can lose a husband or go through a divorce, and now all of a sudden we feel like we're undesirable. Okay. All of these things can happen to us interchangeably. So don't mistake because someone has it together seemingly on the outside that it'll always be that way. This is why when you fall in love with someone, you need to love them for who they are, not just what they bring to the table, because what they bring to the table could change any day. Okay. So now I want to welcome you to the second book in the series. Okay. So as y'all can see, if y'all got something out of the first book, the first 7 gates, I want to encourage you, start with that book. Okay. And then this series, this monthly series, is meant to support what you're learning in that guide. Okay. So if you need that help, grab that book. I'm telling you, the conversations are funny, but they're easy to understand. All right. Sometimes we just need people to talk to us straight. And too often people are floating and giving us concepts that we can't even relate to. We don't even understand. So if you want someone definitely to talk to you because they've been through it and came out. And then I also realized, although I came out of that, there's something else. And I'm now preparing myself to walk through that too. Then welcome. You're welcome to my club for sure, because we're not perfect people here, right? None of us are perfect, but we all may have a heart and a desire to do better. And if that's you, and if you're tired of begging people, I want you to check into volume 1. All right. So now, as we check into volume 2, this is the book for volume 2. Okay. And in this one, we're going to open 5 gates. Okay. So as y'all can see, the gates get shorter and shorter because the first gates kind of really open us up quite a bit. But what I realized, and this is the subtitle here. So if you are really familiar with the excuse, the reason why I haven't made it or I haven't progressed is because of this, that, and the other, I want to encourage you that your biggest threat to progress is unbelief. You don't believe in your influence. You don't believe in your power. You don't believe your gifts, your talents have the real value that you say they have, or you want to believe they have, and you're believing too often people's comments about you, people's thoughts, perceptions about you or what you have and don't have. So this is causing you to decrease or to fall back when you really need to go forward. Okay. So real quick, in this book, there are 5 gates. Here's the first one. You don't need magic. Okay. You need power. That's one of the first things I want to give you. Okay. So if you think you need magic, ibbity bobbity boo to come in your life to change it for you, I want to let you know, no, you don't. The first thing you need to do is you need to make room for miracles. Okay. Miracles don't just happen because you live on Elm Street, or yeah, remember that movie? Yeah, the miracle movie. Okay. Let me let you know, miracles happen because you are obedient to follow something out of healthy expectation. Father, you told me to do this, or I know that if I study that, Father, I need what? A miracle. I need you to what? Put something supernatural, something on the natural things I'm doing. But if you're not doing anything, what's the miracle going to come for? Right? When the Messiah had breads and, fish and loaves and all of that, he was like, people was like, this isn't enough. He says, I acknowledge it's not enough, but Father, let me what? Lift it up to you. And then after he lifted it up to the Father, he blessed it. And then he expected the Father to move, right? And to provide, because this is something the Father wanted him to do. So when the Father says, what? I'm going to send you to do something, he's going to what? Give you provision. Okay. He's going to make a way. You might say, well, I don't know. When my husband and I was deciding about me moving to Houston, we did not know how it was going to happen. And I said, Lord, if you want this to happen, then Father, here's what we need. You think the Father's afraid of the things you need? You think that you can't be honest, with the Father and tell him, hey, look, this is where I'm at. And the Father will say, okay, let me encourage your belief. Let me show you that, yeah, you're right. This is what I want for you. What I asked for, he gave me 3 to 7 times what I asked for. And this is how the Father shows his children, this is me. This is how we learn him. Okay. The next thing you want to know is you want to know the promise. You want to know what promises are yours. What are the promises of God? What is the promise of your spouse? If you've been married, look at your vows again. Okay. Look at what you're promising to someone and ask yourself, are you really going to do it? Because you're going to be held accountable for it. Okay. So when you understand the promises of the Father to you, then you can start having more boldness, more confidence to go and accomplish things. Some of us are afraid because we don't know what our promises are. We don't know that we're greater than a conqueror. We don't know that we're a conqueror. We think we're a defeated foe. So when we come to the table, we already look sunken. We're already low in a low place, but we don't know the power that we have in our own words, and our words are shaping our environment. So we don't know that. So we're operating out of our ignorance. Okay. But the Bible says he won't leave us what? Ignorant of the enemy's devices. But what are you going to do now that you know the enemy's plans and how he works in your life? You know that he comes, and you hear people that talk about your weight. Whenever you feel like you got your confidence back, here they come nitpicking stuff you can't change overnight. You see what I'm saying? So when the enemy sends these things your way, you can say, you know what? I may not be where I want to be, but I'm not where I was. Okay. I used to not work out at all. At least I'm working out. I used to weigh 30, 40, 50 pounds more. And now I weigh 20 less. Yes, I gained 10 pounds back, but at least I'm 20 less than you see what I'm saying? So you got to learn the promises that you make to yourself and the value of your words. Okay. Because you're valuable. There's something intrinsic and wonderful about you, and stand on it. Okay. Another thing is you got to dare to dream. Dreaming, it takes effort. It takes work. It takes power. It takes interest. Okay. Another thing, you have to kick negative thoughts and negative people out of your circle. I don't care if they're your family. I don't care who they are. If they're not about building where you're going, you need to limit their influence. You can't can't throw people away, but you sure enough can limit their influence. So if you need to limit people's influence in your life, this is the book I want you to grab. Okay. If you need to add it to your cart and check out in a day or two, that's fine. But at least add it to your cart so you know where to find it. Okay. And also, Victory, thank you so much, babe, for looking at the book. I appreciate you. Okay. The next thing you want to do is you want to take courage and work. You are not brave if you're not doing anything. You might say, well, I'm very courageous. What are you doing with your courage? Are you actually going to college if you don't have the wisdom? Are you actually doing something about the things you're concerned about? Or are you just going to complain? Because no one eventually cares about your complaints. Okay, no one is taking you seriously because you don't have the work to back up what you have courage to do. Oh, I'm real brave, I'm real bold. If you're so bold, then where is your fruit? Okay, if you really do believe in yourself and what you say you want to do, where is your work ethic? And if it's empty, then stop lying to yourself. That's the best advice. Stop lying to yourself, because this is what's wrong with us. We don't believe in our own words, so we lie to ourselves and we make up excuses for why we don't progress. But your real reason you're not progressing is not you don't have money. It's not the people that are not in your life. It's not none of those things. The real reason you don't progress is because you don't believe in the things you say you want or the value of those things to the point where you're willing to work for them. You got to work for these things. They're not just going to be given to you. You got to work for them. And if they're not worth you working for, guess what? You won't. You'll just come up with excuses because it's a lot easier. Oh, Lord, the reason why I'm not doing this is because I'm Black. I'm a woman. I'm a man. No one likes me. This. No, that's not the real reason. The real reason is, why are you not working to get in an environment where you can have, where you will have, when you can stop having the excuses, because excuses are plentiful. Okay. But actions are few. So you got to close that gap, and then you're going to start realizing something about you. And sometimes that's the most dangerous. One of the most dangerous feelings is to see that we could be our own worst enemy. Okay. But we know that that's true. Okay. It can be. All right. And if that's your problem, your unbelief, deal with it. Don't run from it. Deal with it. Okay. And when you deal with it, you're going to what? Come out stronger. You're going to transform your life and not just keep making changes that don't transform you. Okay. I had to learn it. I used to say, I believe, I believe, I believe. But when it came down to me investing money or spending time, I didn't do that. And guess what? I didn't have the fruit from it either. I didn't have new clients. I didn't have this. I went out of business. I lost stuff because I wasn't willing to go all the way. If you're not willing to go all the way, then I want you to consider why you don't believe in you. Okay. When other people can see your value and they'll hire you for your gifts and talents, but they won't make you a partner. Okay. Look at that again. If you heard me, hear me again. Okay. Another thing, we got to move on because I know we're getting close. We have 6 minutes left in the live. Okay. So here's the next one. This is the third book. Here she is. Okay. I'm going to pin it just so in case you want to just get this one, the third one, it's going to be this one. All right. So in this book, it's opening 3 gates to sharpen your focus. I'm going to go over the 3 gates. There are more nuggets in there that set up the 3 gates. But for the sake of time, the first one I want you to look at is adjust your focus. Okay. If you are missing the mark, if you were hitting it, you were making money, you were making progress. Now, all of a sudden, you're stagnant in your weight loss journey. You're stagnant in getting healthy. You're stagnant in writing your book. You're stagnant in launching your business. You was popping and all of that, but now just stop it. If that's the case, you need to get refocused. Okay, something came into your peripheral, something came in front of you, something scared you, something got you distracted, somebody called you and said you owe them money. Maybe you got a lawsuit slapped against you and now you're like, oh, I'm gonna close my company. So these things happen to discourage you and to stop you from moving ahead. But when you realize that they are just decoys meant to take you out of focus, because what is your real focus? Sometimes there is redirection. Okay. Sometimes the Father will allow things to redirect you, and you need to know the difference. Is this redirection or is this me not being focused? All right. And so if it's a redirection, then you got to ask the Father, okay, Father, where am I going to? Because where I was going, I thought this is where you wanted me to be, but I'm getting a lot of what? I'm getting a lot of friction going this way. So either you're going the right way and the enemy is sent to discourage you, or you're going the wrong way and the Father is throwing up all these red flags so you stop. Okay. So you got to understand who's leading you. Okay. And when you know who's leading you, you can get back to your focus. If your focus is family first and your family is no longer first, then what happened? Okay. What came and took away that focus or that goal set you have? All right. Another thing is you got to remember what you did before. What were you doing that was working? What were you doing that the Father was blessing you for? You were tithing, you were giving, you were loving, you were kind, you were understanding. And because you were doing these things, you were finding blessings in that atmosphere. Get back into that place. Okay. Sometimes we can get weary and well doing. I ain't helping nobody no more. Is that good? Is it good to be selfish? Is that going to bless you more? Because how many of y'all know when you hold back what you should give to other people and don't give them their flowers when they're living, what are you going to do when they're dead? You can't speak to a coffin. They don't hear you no more. But you didn't want to bless them because you felt like they owed you something that they wasn't giving you. But now you're the one living with the regret. Let's let it go. Okay. You need to remember what you did before. And guess what? If the people don't appreciate what you're doing, don't continue to waste your time in that way. Okay. Be prepared to move on and to transition your life to where you need to be, and don't allow people to get you caught up in stuff that isn't going to benefit you. Okay. And then the third gate that's in this book is put it all on the table. Okay. If you have been scared to ask the Father for what you want, stop. Stormy Estelle, thank you so much for looking at this book. Have you been like, Lord, I want to tell you my dreams, but I don't want to tell you in case you don't do it? Stop. Let me let you know. There are dreams that have been crazy, like people coming up to the Red Sea and the Father having a party. Don't y'all know how difficult and how ludicrous that sounds, that the Father's going to part an ocean or a sea for me to walk on dry land? But he did it. Okay. And some people might say, well, I don't know if I believe that. That's fine. Let me give you something more practical. Harriet Tubman is one of my favorite people in history because everything she stood for was impossible. For her to be free was impossible. For her to get married, impossible. For her to retire her parents, impossible. For her to be able to save other people, impossible. For her to be politically an influencer, impossible. This woman was supposed to be sold. Her husband basically remarried when she left. She didn't just leave once and said good riddance to everybody and hide and tuck away. This woman kept coming back to deliver more people and bring them to a place where she enjoys. She was willing to risk her life every time she went back. The Underground Railroad is not a train that people got on to get out. It was not that, but it was a series of events she had to endure through cold, snow, going through rivers and hiding in underground, tunnels and stuff. This stuff is crazy. And you would willingly go and do this to save people that may turn their back on you or could possibly rat you out and put your life in danger when you don't got to, you already got free. So for some of us, when we make it out, we ain't looking back. We don't give a dang about nobody. Okay. But I want to tell you, that's not how you build. That's not what putting it all on the table. The Father's not afraid of scary dreams. He's not afraid of big thoughts, big things, big plans. Wait, hold on one second. This is my other phone. Where is it? Oh, here it is. My bad. Okay, it's telling you it's 5 o'clock. So he's not afraid of that. Okay. So if your dream is to get free and set others free, he can deal with that. He already done it. Okay. This is why the Bible says, share your testimonies, share the things the Father did for you, share the things he's working through you. This is why I wrote the series. I'm sharing the things he did for me because I want to show you he can do it for you. So if you're like, well, I don't know if I can really do this. I don't know if I can really make it as a singer. Some people say I can't. Let me tell you, there are people that I know is making it as lounge singers, as all kinds of singers. They don't got mega record deals and stuff. A lot of the people who got them deals are broke because their paperwork was bad. Okay, so what we may think means we're winning isn't always winning. Some people would say, man, I need to just get a good job. If that's where your faith is, then that's what you do. But my faith was never in get a good job. My faith was, Lord, help me build something that I can sustain on my own and have freedom to be with my children and to do this. And I put it all on the table. I said, Lord, if my husband is not going to be this, I'm good. I'll be single. And until I got to that point, I was not going to find him. I was going to keep settling for people that look like the right thing. In this book, I talk about decoys. Some of us are settling for decoys and companies and relationships and this, that, and the other. And this is why you stay in the same cycle. And it feels like you're repeating because you are. Because you are. You got to put it all on the table. Whatever it is you're believing the Father for, put it on the table. He says in Revelation, it says, is there anything too hard for God? No, it's not too hard. You might say, well, I don't know if he can say, the Father say murderers, strippers, prostitutes. You know what I'm saying? The list goes wild, y'all. If y'all read that Bible, when you look at it, it shows you that regular people like you and me, he saves every day. Witches, warlocks, he's not afraid of them either. Okay, so we might say, well, I don't know, the world is so scary. This is so, the Father's not afraid. You think there's something new under the sun? He says it's not. Okay, Miss Matt, thank you so much, hon, for looking at the book. Okay, so I want to encourage you. There's nothing too hard. Nothing. Okay, so I want to tell you one of the things that you got to know about this book, which is the subtitles. If you don't read the back of the books on the descriptions, read the subtitles, because whatever the subtitle is that hit your world, that's the one you start with. This subtitle is this: don't let the voices distract you anymore. If you know you're distracted, if you start and you stop, if you can't get 5 clicks ahead before you already checking out, this is the book for you. If you are a procrastinator, you say, I'm going to do stuff, I'm going to do it tomorrow, tomorrow never comes. This is for you. And I laugh because it used to be me. I used to be one of the biggest procrastinators. I used to tell myself stuff I was going to do, and I just didn't do it. And I didn't make time for it because I wasn't making room for it. I really didn't believe if I put in the time, anything was going to happen. So instead of me saying, you know, oh, the reason why I'm not doing it because I don't believe in this, or I'm not focused, or I'm not moving on it, I told myself stuff like I'll do it tomorrow, knowing good well I wasn't doing it tomorrow. So if you know you're not doing it tomorrow and you're like, Krystal, if I'm honest, I just need to get focused. Okay. If that's you, then I want you to start with this book. I want you to sharpen your focus, because you have focus. You're just out of focus. Okay. So the things that you want is out of focus. It's not where it needs to be in your life and in your world. And you want to adjust your focus, make it clear, make it plain, make it easy and big enough to see. Okay. So that's the third one in this series. Okay. So if you want to get all 3, you can. If you want to start with one, start with the one that best fits your world. Okay. They can be read out of order. They don't have to be in order. That's the good part. Okay. And then next, I want to share with you real quick. There are 2 things that I want to help you to do if that is something that's in your heart to do as well. Okay. So if you are thinking about sharing your story or writing and telling your story, one of the sponsors of the Embrace Your Crown series is Way Process, which is my Write Anything Easily guide. It's my way of showing you how to write your stories, okay? Because your stories have power. Okay, whether you write your story and keep it to yourself, whether you're going to journal, whether you want to publish it and release it to the public, maybe you want to build a public speaking platform to go and to talk to people about what you've accomplished or what you want to accomplish. I want to encourage you on how I've written 57 books to date. I have 2 more coming out tomorrow, so it's going crazy. I'm about to be at 60, but when I started, I only had 1. For some of you, you might say, well, Krystal, I don't know if I have enough. I only have 1 thing, or I only do this. I want to let you know that's all right. You don't have to have it all. You don't have to do it all. Okay. And I don't expect you to know it all. Some people might say, well, I haven't really wrote my story because I don't know how to publish. I don't know how to write it. I'm not a writer. That's all right. This guide is meant for you. Okay. So in this guide, I can show it to you real quick. Hold on. Dip down here and grab it for you. Okay. So in this guide, I'm going to give you my outline for how I write and publish all of my books, because it's the same process. Okay. One of the things you're going to have to know is, why are you doing this? Who are you doing it for? Author Jazz, how you doing, hon? Thank you so much for being in live too, babe. I see you. And so I want to encourage you with that. All right. Another thing I want to show you how to do is how to organize your ideas. Okay. As a writer, as a author, the author is the person with the idea. Okay. Thank you so much, hon. I see you. White. Thank you so much. Okay. The person is the person with the idea. Although there can be multiple writers, there's one author. The author is the person who created the concept, because without the concept, there's nothing to write. So as a ghostwriter, I tell people that all the time. I can be your ghostwriter, but you're still the author. They might say, well, how am I the author and I didn't write it? Because without you, there is no story. Okay. If I'm making up the story, then I'm the author and you're right. But if it's your story, then I am only your writer. Okay. And I'm a ghostwriter because I don't want the credit because it's not what my story. It's your story. It's your story. Okay. So if you're wanting to do that today, I want to encourage you. Thank you so much. Let me make sure I say your name. Ekanama. Thank you so much for joining my fan club. I appreciate you. Author Jazz, thank you, honey, so much. I appreciate you too. Okay. So I want to encourage you. That's why I ghostwrite. This is why I love publishing. I love seeing people start and finish and share their world with other people that need them because we don't know what someone else needs. I'm not the author for everybody. There's too many people in the world. Okay. If you got 1% of your own city, you could be a best time seller. Okay. You don't have to go for the whole world. I know sometimes people think that way, but you don't. Okay. Um, Now, one of the things I'm going to give you also in here is I'm going to give you a highlighter. I'm going to give you a pen. I'm going to give you my card so you can call me if you have discovery questions. If you want to know, Krystal, can I work with you or something in that nature? I want to let you know I would love to have a discovery call with you. Okay. In this discovery call, it's quick, it's 20 minutes. It's just for me to see where you are and how I can help you. Okay. During this call, it's not about me hearing specifically the details of your book because that's more of a consultation. Okay. And the discovery call, it just means that I get to talk to you, hear where you are, and I can show you a way forward. Okay. You don't have to work with me. Okay. If that's not something you want to do, my job is not to get you as a client. My job is to help you to see how do you go forward. Do you want to get coaching? Do you want to publish it yourself? Do you want to learn how to do this yourself or are services best for you? And if it is best for you, what kind of a payment plan or a bill can you expect from a bona fide publisher that is not out here to just take your money basically and leave you high and dry? Or, you know what I'm saying? Because I've had people come to me after they've worked with other publishers and it didn't go well. Okay. So that's why I created the bundle. Now, in the bundle, I am going to show you not only how to write your books. So if you say, well, I've already written my book, this is the welcome. This is how you outline your story. Okay. It's very, very simple to understand. Okay. You answer the questions, fill in the gaps, and then I show you what to do from there. Okay. And then ultimately, I break down the writing process to get to publishing. Okay. So if you're like, give me the cheat code, give me the high level, quick, fast, that's this. Okay. It's not about the folder, the highlighter, the notebook, the pen, the paper, although it's great, but it's about what can I learn so I can be able to do this myself, especially if you want to be a repeat author. Okay. This offer is $25 and I'll give you a discovery call that's worth $75 for free. Okay. Because my goal is for you to know how to share your story. I love sharing mine. It makes me fulfill my purpose on earth. And my purpose is to show people how to fulfill theirs. Okay. Joy or Joe, thank you so much, hon. I see you and thank you for following. Okay. And so here, if you've already written your story, if you're just ready to format and publish, this is the publishing guide. Okay. So I'm going to show you what metadata is, ISBNs, formatting, uploads, how to review it, and then ultimately how to clone it so you can do it again. Okay. And then 2, I'm going to ask you how's it going, which I do on this page inside of your packet. And if you need services, I discount services for for meeting me this way because I know you know what to do. How many of y'all know what you know what to do? You just don't want to learn this, or maybe you don't want to do this part. And so for those of you who are committed to doing this, I'm committed to helping you. Okay. And the best part is if you choose to work with me, I discount your rates by what you invest. So if you spent $25 on this, I give you the $25 back because it's not about, it's not about that. It's just about if you take yourself seriously, I want to meet you because this helps me to know where to spend my time. Just like you don't want to spend your time with people that may not have the same interests or may not be looking for what you offer. Then you have to find ways to be able to kind of consolidate the calls, all right, the text messages and stuff like that. So you find the right people that are looking for you. Okay. So if the $25 investment sounds like right on budget for you, just consider this process, then I want to encourage you to go ahead and add this to your cart. Go ahead and check out. You can check out during the live. And I would definitely have a discovery call with you just to kind of see where you're at and then help you to kind of think through the details on how you can ultimately get from where you are to where you want to be. Okay. Now, for those of you who say, well, Krystal, honestly, I've been thinking about doing this. I know I'm doing this. I'm already writing my story. I'm halfway done, or at least I got an outline. I just need a little bit help. Or maybe you want a publisher or a ghostwriter or an editor. Then I want to encourage you to grab this offer. Okay. So in this offer, it is the hardback book. This book is hardback, so it's not going anywhere. It will last as long as you use it, okay? And what I love about it is in color. These pages are not the cheap stuff that will tear on you, or if you get water on it, it just ripples up and it's trash. That's not this book. It cost me money to print it, but I believe in the value in the pages. And all of my clients who I work with, they have a copy of this book. Why? Because I want you to understand what you're buying, what you have, and what you should expect. Okay. So if that is something, if this is where you're at and you're ready to get it going, with this guide, I also give you the outline for free. So you get the outline bundle for free included with the book purchase. Okay. Now, one thing I give you that honestly is the weight in gold is that I also give you a consultation with me. In the book consultation, this is about 45 minutes to an hour long. And in the consultation, I will listen and read or consider the content you've written and help guide you on what to do at this phase. Okay. So if you've already gotten stuff going and you're nearly at the end, or maybe you're just committed to doing this, and now's the time, then I want to encourage you to grab this book. Now, one thing I want to let you know, we do take care of the shipping. I think taxes bring it to 91, but it's under $100. But if you do decide to do this, the consultation normally costs $156. I'm giving that to you for free. Okay. When you order the book, I'm also giving you the outline, as you know, is $25. And I will also give you $100 off if you decide to work with me as well. So I'm going to give you the $100 back plus $156 consultation and $25 the outline. So you'll know what to do. And I'm going to put it all in a backpack so that you'll be able to hold it, take it where you need to go. And ultimately, this is how you can do everything yourself. Okay. So whether you use someone for services or not, you can still use this guide to do everything. It talks you through it. Okay. So that's the value. If you say, well, Krystal, I want to learn how to do this, I still coach you using this book. So either way, the book is still going to be helpful and you're still going to need it and you're going to use it, especially if you decide to work with me as a coaching client or as a service client through publishing services. Okay. All right. And then lastly, I want to share with you guys the business side, because I know some of you may already have your businesses and right now you're just looking to launch or kind of take the next step. Again, you can choose to grab the outline. It's going to be that same bundle. It's going to come with, let me take that out. It's going to ultimately come with the outline. I'm going to show you how to launch your business right. Okay. So I'm going to break down, how to develop your brand, how to develop your mission statement, your vision, your client avatar. How are you going to do your sales cycle, build a sales structure, basically operate your company to make money, which is one of the most important things. If you have a nonprofit or a for-profit, you have to understand how you're going to be able to afford to operate. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be able to give you a quick rundown in with this guide. Okay. Now, you are going to get a business card from me. You are going to get a notebook, pen, highlighter, Post-it notes, all that good stuff. But again, if this is something that okay, yesterday I should have already launched my company, or I needed solutions to be able to make money as an author, my book is already done. If that's you, then you need to understand how to think like a business owner. Okay. Sometimes we go into our hobbies and we treat them like hobbies, although they're supposed to be a business. All right. And if that is you, I want to challenge you today to grab this book because it comes with a consultation with me. I will be able to hear where you are. I'll be able to answer your questions. I can explain what a client avatar is, your sales structure, your cycle. and how you can start to think through these details. This guide is what you're going to use to answer all of the questions and fill in the gaps. If you say, well, Krystal, for the sake of time, can you do it for me? Okay, I'm going to give you a credit for what you spend on this book. Okay, and we all know it's under $100, but I'm gonna give you $100 off. I'm gonna give you a $156 consultation for free, and I'm gonna give you the bundle, which we know is 25, and I'm gonna put it all in a backpack. And then I'm gonna make sure when you leave that call, you know what to do. Okay. So whether you hire me or not, that's fine. But I want you to leave the call not going to another conference, spending another whatever to try to get people to see and to understand, and for you to kind of go in a circle again, and your company is still not launched. You still don't have an EIN. You don't have a business bank account. You don't understand business credit. All of these things are part of your journey. And my goal is to show you my journey. I set up companies for people all the time, for a lot of authors. Definitely, I build websites for them, build their brands out, all of that. So if that's where you're at, the good news is I can help you. Okay. And if you're uncertain on where to start, I want you definitely to send me a direct message. Okay. So just send me a message, say, Krystal, hey, this is where I'm at. What do you recommend? And I can help you. Okay. So whether it is the coaching side for the Embrace Your Crown series, or if it's publishing or launching your business, I'm definitely here to help. Okay. So yes. So with that, I definitely want to thank all of you for being a part of this live. You make it what it is, which I believe is something great. And I want to let you know, if there is something that you have questions about, let me know. I'm definitely here. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. If you do want to get access to the rest of the content, then I want you to subscribe. Okay. So if you would like to subscribe, you can definitely either use the pin for, hold on, let me share it real quick. You can use the pin on here. And then on over here, what I want you to do, I want you to send me a direct message, okay? And I will show you how to subscribe so that you can get the bonus content, which I believe has incredible value. There are still 3 more check-in points that I didn't get a chance to discover or to talk about and unpack with you, but I believe it'll bless you for this month. I also want to make sure that you get your action steps, which are included when you subscribe. And then I also want to make sure that you hear our mantra. Our mantra is amazing. And so if you are wanting to basically know, what can I stand on? I want you to consider legacy. Okay. If you are only thinking about yourself and today and tomorrow and no more, that's where you're messing up. You got to consider your legacy. Okay. And if you have not been on that tip or thinking about it, that's where you want to get to next. Okay. And as you are building and doing and working hard, you're not just doing this for you, you're doing this because you're building your legacy. Okay. And so that's my goal. That's what I want to do. I want to build my legacy. And guess what? Your legacy is not just your children. It's not just your family. Your legacy is built by everyone you touch and influence. So if you influence strangers, if you influence your neighbors, your children is great, but other people's children is great too. All of these people help to expand your legacy. So if you're ready to expand your legacy and embrace your crown in the process, I want you definitely to reach out to me. Subscribe for sure. And that way you can access that bonus content, and let's go achieve our goals this year. Okay. And I mean, like, if you haven't done your vision board, that's your takeaway. That's your takeaway assignment. Please, please, please write your vision down, put it in your phone, record it. But I want you to put it somewhere where you can see it every day. Okay. Or you can reference it at least once a week. Okay. At the lowest. If you can do it every day, that's better. But if you can at least do it once a week, I want you to say, man, where am I at? Okay. It's not so you can beat yourself up. It's so you can stay motivated. Okay. So you'll know you're going somewhere. All right. And so I want to encourage you. There's a saying that says, if you try and learn something every day for 30 minutes, within 3 to 5 years, you will be a master of whatever you're trying. So I want to let you know, in 3 to 5 years, you can be a master. But I would tell you, in 90 days or less, you can publish your book. You can launch your business. You can do so many things in 90 days or less. It's just about, what are you preparing yourself to do and how is it working? Okay. So if I can help you to accelerate some things, let me know, reach out to me, and we'll go from there. Okay. So for the many of you that have followed me, thank you so much. For the many of you who have visited the shop, thank you so much. And also, I want to encourage you to add the books to the cart. And even if you check out later, that's all right. But definitely add them to your cart so I'll know you want them and I can better assess inventory. I know we only have 3 of those Write Anything Easily guides in the shop. So if you do want to get one of those, number 10, I believe, please be sure to grab it. That way I will know that I need to order some more. I know I do already, y'all, because they go quick. But I want to let y'all know to add it to your cart and check out so that we can get things going in your favor. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, if that is all y'all have for today, that's all I have. I just pray that the Father bless y'all throughout this month, that He helps you to look at your progress. And if it's not looking the way you want it to, not yet, I want to encourage you not to fret, not to get complacent, not to get down on yourself, not to get what's the word? To speak negatively over what you're trying to accomplish because it may not look like it's working. I know sometimes when we start the gym, we're like, man, why haven't I lost a pound yet? It could take time. Sometimes you build muscle before you lose the weight. And so it's not always a bad thing to gain when you think you should be losing, or when it looks like you're losing, because losing sometimes can mean a gain. So, Father, I pray you give us the right way of looking at our way forward so that we may be able to accomplish what we set out to do. It's in the precious name of your Son that we say hallelujah, and so be it, Yeshua. And so I just pray that all of you have a phenomenal month. I'll be back on tomorrow for the Growing Book Club, and I'll have some new technology, Lord's willing. So I'm excited for that. Again, get your resources, invest in your people, build your team. Okay. And build your base. Create an atmosphere where people who are looking for you can find you. Okay. And make it easy. All right. There's more that I would love to share, but for now, I'm going to have to let you go and say bye bye for now. And I will see you guys again real soon. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern is the old time, but it will be going to 7 p.m. Central. Okay. So if you're on Eastern time, it's going to be at 8 o'clock. If you are on Central time, it's going to be 7 o'clock. Okay. So I will see you all tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central time. Okay. So we're at 1 hour past Eastern. All right. Which was 7. So it's going to be 8 o'clock now for you. Okay. So bye bye for now. And I will see you mañana. Bye bye. Bye, guys.